Hi everyone. Today I'm going to discuss about a senior .NET developer interview in which I've recently appeared, and there are like a couple of questions which are mostly related to my experience and the way I have worked, but it will help you evaluate yourself how you should prepare for the answers. So without further ado, let's move forward. So the interview start with a greeting, and then the interviewer introduced himself, and then he have asked me to introduce myself. So this way, like the technical round begins, and then he have asked me about if I have used monoliths or microservices. So you need to have a brief understanding or good understanding of what are monoliths and what are microservices, and how you can use both, and at which point of time you should use one. So I will be going into the details on in separate videos, but today I'll be focusing on the questions only. The second questions was like if I have worked on both .NET and .NET Core frameworks. So as I have worked with, so I answered accordingly. So it's up to you, like if you have worked on both, so you can prepare your answer accordingly. Then I've been asked if I have worked on the .NET Core for as a REST platform or MVC and Blazor. So if you are primarily using .NET Core as a web API only, so it means you are using it for a REST platform. And if you are building ASP .NET Core applications using Blazor, so it's covered that. So you can prepare around that as well. Then I've been asked like about the minimal API or the controller based API. Basically, if I have used the minimal APIs or the controller based APIs. So I have mostly like used controller based APIs, but you should be aware of minimal APIs as well, and you should suggest like at which point of time which one is suited. Then I've been asked like what sort of authentication or authorization I have used. Is it a role based or a permission based? So you need to have a good answer around that. And either like JWT token was part of it or not. Then I have been asked like have I used identity server or OpenID Connect? So if you're not well versed on those, so you can see to that as well. Then there was a specific scenario related to the application which I've worked on, that was basically around concurrency. Like if there are like thousands of connections or multiple connections in your application server, so how you are going to handle that. So you can plan that accordingly. Then it have been the like interview molded toward a discussion of a queue. Have I ever maintained a Rabbit MQ sort of a queue or any custom queue? So you can plan accordingly. If you haven't heard or read Rabbit MQ, you can go with that. Then based on my experience, I've been asked like if I worked with Angular 19 or not. I haven't worked with that, so no further drill down on that. Then I've been asked if I've only worked on the front end or back end. So mostly like I have worked on the back end. So focus of the interview was on back end. Then I've been asked like if I've used Entity Framework, Dapper, and Admin.NET. So it means you need to know all these three and what's the difference. So you can plan those. Then I've been asked what a table value function versus a table value parameter. So you can prepare for that as well. And there was a difference being asked like a table value function versus view. So you can prepare for that as well. One more question regarding the views, like can we do inserts in views or not? So that was a question. Usually views are used for like selecting or getting the data, but this was one of our question. And then there was an optimization related question. How or have you ever optimized SQL queries, and what's your approach regarding that optimization? How would you optimize a query? So you can have an answer on that. Then I've been asked covering index versus composite index. So you can get your answers ready around that as well. And one more thing that have been asked, like if I we apply any function on our column, so will the indexes be still be utilized or not? And then is there any way in entity framework to like update or delete any entity without actually pulling or loading the entity? Then moving forward, it have been asked like, have you used anything to avoid conflict in EF core? For example, if two users are on the same detail page and modified the same data, how would you track that conflict? Then I've been asked, what is connection pooling? How to like add shared or any prefetch data to our database call. Let's say if there is a user which you want to inject always, how would you be able to add that prior to your database call? So basically, this was more of targeting the dependency injection. So how would you be able to add the user detail? You need to see to that. And if you are running on connection pool, is there any conflict when you are using connection pooling? Let's say if you have pulled a sort of a session and stuff, and then completed your call and have same connection handed over to another requesting thread. So does it like bring any conflicts or not? This was the question. Then we were like having, if you are using ASP.NET and physical database connection is dropped, so how would your application be able to handle? So uh, is there any way or something within the DEL, because within the ADO or entity framework? So that's one thing you can see to that. Have you ever like tried transient error or something like implemented poly in .NET? So that was one more of a question. And then I've been asked regarding the clean architecture. So is have you ever built a project using clean architecture? Then I have mentioned that I've used CQRS. So I've been asked why I've used the CQRS. And then for scheduling, it have been asked like, however, I used Hangfire, Quartz, or native scheduling. Then I've been asked like, if a schedule is running and a process running, but due to slowness, it doesn't get completed, and a second jobs come. So how you are going to handle that scenario? So that was one thing. Then we were like having other questions. How would you handle logging in C Sharp? I have used Log4net, so I answered accordingly. Then I've been asked like solid principles, what's the difference between dependency inversion and dependency injection. Then I've been asked another question regarding the lifetime scope of a singleton, transient, and scope. So, and the question was like, if you have registered a singleton service and within that service you inject one transient or one scope service. So, and you got like 5 requests. So how many instances of that transient and scope will be created? So that was one thing. Then like uh, I have been asked like if you need to create a system where you need to notify the user using notification or email, but this needs to be like chosen as per the user preference, and it's going to be achieved on the runtime. How could we achieve this using the dependency injection? So this is something we need to like decide on the runtime. So these are the questions. I have tried my best to quickly go through these questions, but I'll be answering and discussing these questions in detail in my upcoming videos. So thank you for watching. And if you want to add or ask anything, feel free to add it to the comment.